3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? We're back this week. It's Beat the Line broadcast, episode 26, UFC Atlantic City. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. I'm here with Dravhy and Key3Picks. Key3's got a new background, a new mic, and a new camera. It's really, we're taking this show to the next level.
I heard the talk, man. I heard the talk. I had to fix it.
Yeah, I still got to send that guy his $50 too. I got to send it to him on PayPal because he doesn't have Venmo. All right, let's get right into this. I mean, it's a 14 fight card. We'll get this taken care of. We'll try and crush it. First fight of the night we have is Angel Pacheco versus Colin Loughran. Angel Pacheco, he's 7-2. He's 7-2. He's 32 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach, making his debut at 32. Never a good look. Colin Loughran is 8-1. He's 27, 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. You can find the action on these guys. Pacheco's anywhere from plus 275 to plus 300. Loughran's anywhere from minus 325 to minus 375. Key, since you got the new mic, test it out. You go first. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think Loughran's going to be able to take Pacheco down and hold him down, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think Loughran can do whatever the hell he wants to him here. I actually have him as my last parlay leg at minus 300. I paired him with Carl Williams last week. Talk about a sweat of a lifetime. I think that Loughran here is just he's the better fighter here. Pacheco is actually coming down to bantamweight. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad move. I think that his durability is much, much better, probably going to be at featherweight. As we saw in the Danny Silva fight, I don't know how he was still on his feet after that ass whooping. But honestly, I think that this is a Loughran spot. Pacheco's takedown defense is pretty questionable. Loughran is built like a fucking brick house. I mean, he is just straight up, straight down, just solid. Top pressure seems elite. I think that there's a possibility he gets a sub here. I think that he can walk him down in boxing range and really just throw the harder shots. I think that Pacheco does have some slight KO upside if he wants to really go to the body like he did against Danny Silva. But I think that Loughran is just too much of a dog. Him going, I think that was a 29-28. I had a bet on a Lapulus in that fight. And so him going 29-28 with the guy who I view as top 20, top 25-ish in the division, to now debutant who is coming off of a loss on Dana White Contender Series. I think there's an obvious setup spot. They're sort of throwing him a bone for, hey, you took on that last-minute replacement with the Lapulus and all those switches during the Paris card, so we're going to throw you a bone right here. I think that he gets it done here. I'm not sure whether it's inside the distance or not. I think it's possible. What is that sub price? I think it was like plus 500 at a time.
It is
plus 600.
Plus 600. I like that more than KO. Honestly, I think that the grappling levels are pretty different here. So if you have to go the prop route, I think that that's the way to go. I think that he's a fine parlay piece this week too.
Yeah, I think Pacheco is also very underwhelming. You know, I mean, it's not often you see a guy get a contract. He's coming with, didn't he lost and got the contract, right? Just because he got his ass beat so bad by Danny Silva. So I don't know. I also, you go back and look at his tape. Did anyone see him wrestle at all? Defensive wrestle, anything like that? I mean, it's not great. It's actually horrible. So I think Loughran's going to be able to do whatever he wants. I think he's going to be able to take him down, hold him down. I think Loughran's got a pretty clear side here. Jav, anything different from you?
No, I agree with you guys. Yeah, the wrestling, the grappling upside is massive, but I also think that, like he said, Pacheco is like he's durable normally, but him cutting down to 135, we don't really know how it's going to affect his durability. And I mean, he got beat bad by Danny Silva, but he almost got knocked out in that fight like twice. And also when Danny Silva decided that he wanted to take him down, he took him down very easily. Even on the regional, I mean, if you look his fight, like his takedown defense is not good. His takedown defense is not good. His grappling is not very good. I know he has some sub in his career, but like he's fighting lower level guy. So yeah, I mean, you have to give Loughran the strength of schedule. I think he hit harder than Pacheco also. I think his striking, like, it's not the best ever because he doesn't throw as much volume, but he has power and he mixed up his target well. He's very strong. Like when he gets on top, he's very dangerous. Lapulus has like one of the not the best takedown defense, but one of the best get up game that I've seen in a long time. I'm very high on Lapulus as a striker, as a fighter. He's durable. He has good takedown defense. I bet him in this fight against Loughran, and I mean that was a close fight. Like, yeah, Lapulus clearly won the fight, but Loughran to make his debut against a top 20, top 25 guy like that, it was in France, right? So that was like in Lapulus' hometown. I think that was good. Also, if you look on his Instagram, he spent 3 weeks at Fight Ready. He looks to be in very good shape, and I also love the way he took that loss. So sometimes we see fighters being like delusional about their loss and stuff like that. He kind of owed his L, if I can say that, in a way that like he's grinding hard. He looks to be, like he said, that this loss was one of the better thing that happened to him, because it's gonna allow him to fix some things and get better. So yeah, I think he's the spot here. Decent parlay piece. I don't know if I'm gonna play him or not, but I think that the KO is plus 120, but the sub is plus 600. That's a big difference. I think he's a good parlay piece personally. I don't really see a path for Pacheco. Like, I favor Loughran in a KO, sub, or decision. So it's hard for me to see a path for Pacheco here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the stand up. I think you gotta get this fight to the ground. Pacheco's a Golden Glove boxer, so I don't think he's gonna have it in the stand up department. I think he just takes it down and just dominates him from there. I wouldn't mess around.
I mean, yeah, he's a good boxer, but like the dude's so fucking hittable, and Loughran can pack a punch. I think he can land big shot at will. I think it's gonna be kind of close on the feet, but he's gonna have to worry about the takedowns coming his way. So I think Loughran striking gonna look better because of that personally.
Okay, let's go on to the next fight. Next fight we got here is Andre Petroski versus Jacob Malkoun. Andre Petroski, 10-2, 32 years old, 6 feet with a 73-inch reach. Malkoun is 7-3. He's 28, 5'9", 73-inch reach. It's kind of crazy that he's 28. He looks a lot older. The action on these two gentlemen, you can get Petroski anywhere from plus 160 to plus 200. You can get Malkoun anywhere from minus 215 to minus 245. Dravhy, do you think that Petroski is going to find the sub here against Malkoun, or do you think the traditional wrestling of Malkoun is going to give, and the jab is going to give Malkoun the upside here in this fight?
Yeah, I think it's a Malkoun spot, to be honest. Like, I've backed Petroski and his I bet his sub prop against Pereira, he got killed. I didn't like the fact that he accepted that fight on short notice. He lost the win streak that he had and everything. That was like, he showed up for a check in that fight, but he got killed. But before that, he did look all right. Like, his grappling's pretty good. He's a Philly guy, and he's a strong dude. His wrestling's pretty decent. But the problem with him is cardio. And we know that a guy like Malkoun is going to push. He's going to wear on his gas tank. And I think Malkoun cardio and wrestling is very, very good. Like, he can shoot a lot of takedowns. I think his grappling is good. He's not a good finisher, though, but I think that he's a pretty solid grappler. I remember betting his decision prop against Brendan Allen at like plus 700. And I think he can make an argument that he won that fight. Like, Allen's a very, very good grappler, and he was not able to control Malkoun, and Malkoun was able to take him down multiple times. But also, I mean, his jab's good. Like, his striking is a little bit underrated, in my opinion. Like, he was piecing up Allen with the jab at times. So I feel his striking is improving. His chin can be a worry. Like, he got knocked out bad against Phil. So I guess maybe the chin. Petroski hit hard, you know. I remember cashing Cody Brundage KO1 at like plus 1,500 or something, like a crazy price. I got so lucky, but I mean, yeah, man. So yeah, I don't really know what to say. I think Malkoun will win a decision, but I think he's live for a finish late if Petroski gassed out like he normally does. Yeah, I mean, Petroski's live for a finish, but if he doesn't get a finish, I don't really know how he wins. So if we look at the odds, Malkoun's a deserved favorite for sure. But like, I wonder what is Petroski finish only. Let me check. Oh, it's actually not bad. Petroski finish only is minus 110. See, I think that's potentially a better play than his money line, even if the money line is plus 200.
Definitely.
But, yeah, maybe you just go Petroski ITD. Oh, it's plus 300. So I'd rather take that instead. Like Petroski
Yeah.
ITD plus 300 if you want to bet him. But that's not a big difference between this and the money line though. But yeah, I don't really see him winning a decision. Malkoun decision plus 120. It's not bad. But like I said, I think he's live to finish late if Petroski got him.
That's what I was gonna say too. My kind of thing is like this is one of those fights that you don't want to be anywhere near because you look at if you look at it on the feet, right? Malkoun's gonna have the better jab, which could kind of set up everything for the rest of the fight. But also Malkoun's chin sucks. So Petroski has, he throws those really, wide hooks. He could catch him, knock him out. He can sub him on the ground. He's got a good wrestling background, right? But just the traditional way that Malkoun wrestles, where he works his way from the single leg up, that if he can get those takedowns, like you said, Petroski will get tired. So you're dealing with like issues from both guys on both sides, and it's kind of like wrestler versus wrestler. Just doesn't make sense to me. Personally, I think it's dog or pass just because of the price. But I wouldn't even touch this fight. I would honestly pass if possible.
By the way, I don't think his chin suck because like he got knocked out. Chin. Yeah, he did get chin, but like it only happened once. And if you look, he did got hurt in some fights, but like I wouldn't.
Who else? Brendan Allen hurt him pretty bad in that fight, if I remember correctly. Right?
No, not really.
No, I kind of thought he did.
He got kind of hurt against he fought like Abdul Razak, right? He fought AJ Dobson. He fought Brendan Allen. Like I think three of the all of them are like more of a threat on the feet than Petroski, let's say that, and they didn't knock them out. Like they didn't knock him out. So yeah, I don't think like his chin's garbage. I think his chin's not the best of all time. Don't get me wrong, but I think saying that his chin sucks is a little bit too much.
All right, Key, what do you think? Do you think his chin sucks?
I think his chin is funny. He has a funny chin. I think that his durability overall is just a little bit questionable, and too questionable for me to want to put minus 200 on it. This is a nasty fight, minus 233 actually. This is a nasty fight in my opinion. I don't want to put money on two men that I know are just gonna intensely cuddle for 15 minutes. If Petroski can last for 15 minutes, pause. But I think that this is a spot where it's a complete pass for me. I have absolutely no interest. The finish only prop that Dravhy was talking about is kind of juicy if you're really into this fight. But if you're really into this fight, you may need to question your sexuality a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree with Dravy. Like if you're gonna bet that side, it's probably the side because it defends you from the Malkoun decision. But I think Malkoun is also live for a finish if Petroski gets tired, like in round 3. Like a round 3 finish is possible here, and then you're screwed if you take that bet. So I don't know. I'd rather just pass, to be honest. Let's go to our next fight, and Key, you're obviously going to start us off for this one. Next fight we have is Melissa Gatto, 8-2-2. She is 28-5-5 with a 69-inch reach. She's fighting Victoria Dudakova, who is 8-0, 25-5-5 with a 67-inch reach. She is coming up in weight. That should be noted. That's a pretty big deal for this fight, I think, personally. Gatto's anywhere from minus 150 to minus 160. Dudakova is anywhere from plus 120 to plus 140. Key, is Gatto going to find the sub here?
Yes, I actually do believe so. I got Gatto at plus 140 for 2 units and 1 unit at plus 120. So 3 units to win 4 units. And I'm very content with that. I did have plus 400. Jinh Frey, forever my queen, forever a legend, who took a round off of Dudakova. I've been trying to fade Dudakova this whole time. I don't think that she's that good. I think that she did show more striking in her last fight. I do have to give her that. Her striking looked career best in my opinion. But that I don't rate it very highly. Wrestling, I think that she's a tough girl. But whenever you're dropping one takedown is literally the round against Jinh Frey, I'm a little afraid of what Gatto might be able to do to you. And in that second round, I mean, literally Jinh Frey just timed one takedown well, and that was completely the round after that. And she can have staph in her butthole, whatever it was.
That was wild. That was a wild comment, bro. That is disgusting.
But there's no excuse for dropping around against Jin Frey in 2023. So I think that this is a Gatto spot. She's coming up in weight. Gatto is, in my opinion, one of the more physical girls in the division. I mean, if you just look at her arm, she's fucking massive. I think that she's most likely on the good juice too. So I think that Gatto has a lot of cage push upside, a lot of top time upside. I think one takedown, that's the round. One thing I don't like, Gatto will play off of her back a little too much. But at distance, I like Gatto's jab. She did a good job early on against Lipski, somebody with that power. I think Lipski is somebody that hits like a dude. And she did a good job of being able to stick out that jab and using that lateral movement to sort of keep her distance. And so I think that's a fight even that you can argue scoring, even though I personally scored it for Lipski. That's a fight that you can argue. And so I think that Gatto has faced a higher level of competition. She's proven herself more often. A dog odds, that was a no-brainer for me at minus 151. I think that she's still okay, but I'm very happy with dog money against Dudakova, who hasn't really proven much, and I've been waiting to fade for a while, so this is a good spot for me.
Yeah, I love it. I love the breakdown. I pretty much agree with everything you said. One thing I like to add is Dudakova thinks she can wrestle and thinks she can grapple, which I think she's actually going to try and attempt her own takedown. And in that case, she's probably going to get tripped by Gatto and taken down. And I completely agree. I played Gatto plus 100. I'm also probably going to be playing that sub prop, depending on the number we got. Bet Online gave us plus 400. I guarantee DraftKings or FanDuel mess it up and give you plus 550, plus 600. And I'll probably play that for half a unit. Drav, anything different from you?
Yeah, that was a good breakdown. Yeah, so not much to add from me. I'm just going to say that Dudakova is not the best ever, but I think she got a little bit of a dog in her. Like I'll say that. Like in the Dana White Contender Series fight, I would not be too confident that Gatto finish her, but like if there's a spot she's getting finished, it's probably here because she's probably gonna play on the ground, like Peg said, and Gatto's a elite grappler. She's one of the best grappler. Like I call it her fight pretty good. Like I've bet her against Eubank. She was an underdog. By the way, she finished Eubanks by knockout, and she's the first girl in MMA to finish Eubanks. I bet her again against Tracy Cortez. She was, I think, the underdog. Yeah, she was the underdog in that spot. She lost a close decision, and Cortez is a very good grappler and wrestler. And Gatto won one round with grappling and wrestling. That was impressive to me. And I bet my queen Lipski like plus 180 or something against Gatto. That was impressive. But Lipski's has been underrated by the market for a long time. Been cashing on that against Casey O'Neill last time out. But yeah, man, I just feel like in that spot, like I think Gatto's the better striker. I think she's the better grappler, and I think she has all the finishing upside. You guys mentioned that Dudakova is moving up in weight, so that's a factor. I don't think it's good for her because Gatto's very physical at 125. So yeah, man, I just feel like she should. Oh yeah, Dudakova missed weight last time out. I think that's why she's moving up. But yeah, I also got Gatto at underdog money. That's why you got to be in the dub club. I got plus 130. It was like crazy line, in my opinion. Now I think at minus 160, I think she's minus 160. Let me check. Oh, minus 150. Actually, I think she's still a potentially good bet at minus 150 because, like I said, I think she's the better striker, better grappler, more dangerous, all finishing upside, and she fought better competition and has more experience in the UFC. So, and I mean, it's my first time betting against Dudakova because I bet her, I think, in every fight. Like I got lucky in the Nunez fight, but I bet her by knockout. It was like plus 1,000 or something. And I bet her I had her in a parlay against Frey. And let me tell you something, I was not feeling good about that. So yeah, man, I think Gatto is a very good fighter. I think that's a good bounce back for her. She should look good, but I'll say she won a decision. But she's live for a finish.
All right, sounds good. Next fight, I think it's a pretty good one. We have a rematch here, but now it's in the UFC. It's Ebo Aslan, 12-1. He's 27-6'3" with a 77.5-inch reach. He's fighting Anton, the Pleasure Man, Turkalj. He's
your boy.
Yep, my boy. He's 27, 6'4", with a 78-inch reach. This is a close fight. It's you get Ebo anywhere from, where is it? You get him anywhere from -130 to -120. You can get Turkalj anywhere from +105 to +110. Money obviously came in on Turkalj, who was +160. I'll start first. To be honest, I'm trying my best not to bet Ebo Aslan money line, because I think, like Drav likes to say, I always think rematches go differently. I agree with that sentiment. You look at this fight on paper, right? We're looking at a guy in Turkalj who has went 0-3 in the UFC so far, getting choked by Jailton, not a big deal. We know how good Jailton is. A loss to Vitor Petrino at a decision, not a bad look either. But then he really this is the first time we've seen his chin get like cracked, and it was against Tyson Pedro, and it was in round 1. We know Anton's very hittable. My only concern is Vitor Petrino wasn't able to put him out. So like, what? So it shows his chin is still there. The chin kind of cracked against Pedro. I'm kind of thinking it's going to crack again. Ebo did this whole camp he's at Syndicate MMA now. I like when fighters come to the US and go to the top premier camps. I would like to think his cardio is there. If you rewatch their first fight, the only reason Anton really won by sub is because Ebo beat his ass so bad in round 1 that he was death gassed by round 2. I would like to think that if he's more controlled this fight, he'll still be able to touch up Anton. He'll be able to, KO. He's definitely live for a KO, but I think he could fight this fight differently and probably win pretty handedly. I want to get to him at -120, just a little sketched out by that. What do you think, Key? Where are you standing on this? I know you like the pleasure man too. I think you bet against him against Pedro, right?
Yeah. I like you. I'm kind of fighting the urge to not bet Ebo here. As Drav says all the time, and like Peg just mentioned, rematches usually won't ever go the same. And I think that the first fight was just like a really weird. It seemed like both guys were fighting kind of emotional, especially based off of the pleasure man's reaction after he won. I think that Ebo is probably on some good drugs now, if he wasn't already before. I like the only issue that's like stops me, like you mentioned, Peg, is the fact that Anton was able to take all the shots from Petrino, but Petrino also elected to grapple a lot in that fight, if you remember.
Yeah.
He sort of seemed to make that decision almost as if he wanted to showcase his grappling in that fight. And so there were a lot of really weird and awkward scrambles. It was just honestly just a really weird fight. Tyson Pedro, I don't rate Ebo to the same striking of Tyson Pedro. I was glad to get Pedro at plus money in that last fight. If Ebo was the dog here, I probably would feel more comfortable siding with him. But at -128, it just kind of feels a little nasty for a guy that I know has only really fought cans. He's now getting a rematch. I think that's obvious that the UFC sort of teeing him up here. But this is just sort of nasty to play. If it touches plus money and the line somehow flips, I'll probably be on Ebo. But if it stays favorite money, I'm good. And I also don't want to take a KO prop that is so close to his money line. So yeah,
He's plus 130 now. So It's not even worth taking. You're better off just playing the money line to protect yourself. Drav, what do you think?
It's kind of tricky because betting wise, I think all the value with the props and everything is on the pleasure man. So I think you got to play with that if you bet this fight personally. I mean, me and Key both cashed Pedro plus money against pleasure man last time. I know Peg, this fight still hump you. That's okay because your boy pleasure man fall and die. So that was not a fun experience for you. But that's okay, you know. The difference is Pedro, I mean, he's a killer in the first round. That's what he does. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but I said on the podcast, I think Pedro is a better finisher in the first round than Petrino. I said that, and I remember people saying like that was kind of crazy. Like Pedro's a very good sniper, like let's say in the first round. Like he's very good with his grappling, with his strike and everything. And Pleasureman is very hittable. He's very hittable, but he does have a good chin. So now after a first knockout loss, it's gonna like there's two things gonna happen. Maybe he wrestle and grapple. Maybe he's gonna try to wrestle and grapple more, which is a good thing for this matchup, or he's just gonna be so scared that he get knocked out again and his chin's not good anymore. But I can't assume his chin's not good anymore because it was always like A plus. But I can't assume that it's gonna be good. So I don't really like any money line side. I think around a pick 'em, it's probably fair, but I kind of have to favor the Pleasureman just a little bit because I think the wrestling, the grappling upside is massive, but I also think the cardio is massive. But he fought better competition as well. Like the last fight, like Ebo was like destroying his leg and he was beating him up pretty bad. But like the dude cardio is very like his cardio is bad. Like he's kind of a first round KO or bust here. He's gonna be live to get that first round knockout. Like if the Pleasureman get on top, you know, some things gonna happen. I don't think Ebo's gonna be pleasured by that. Let's say that because I mean, like the last time he got him down, he got his back, and that was a wrap. Like he was tired after 6 minutes or so. That was like easy sub. So yeah, and if you just look, Ebo, I think he went to a third round only once in his career. So I think a way or another, this fight's gonna end under 2 rounds. It's not gonna go in the third round, in my opinion. So the under 1.5 is a decent look. It's around a pick 'em or so. But I was able to get some good line on this fight. I bet the Pleasureman by first round submission at plus 900, and I bet the submission round 2 at plus 1250. So that was kind of a crazy lines to me because, like I said, I think it's going to end in the first 2 rounds. I think it's either going to be Ebo KO 1 or it's going to be Pleasureman sub 1 or sub 2, you know? And the first fight was a sub 2 by him. I think this fight can be a sub 1 because the last time he got on top in the second round when Ebo was tired, but if he gets on top in the first round, he can tap him as well, you know? So yeah, man, I think he's gonna submit him in the first 2 rounds. I just feel like these lines are pretty crazy. And yeah, Ebo can knock him out early, but yeah, you get plus 160 on the KO1 for Ebo, and I get plus 900 and plus 1250 for that for Pleasureman. So yeah, man, that's how I play this fight. I think he's gonna find a sub, but the under 1.5 is a decent look if you don't want to pick a side. And yeah, but I think Pleasureman gets back on top and Pleasure to find with a sub.
Yep. Okay, we can move on. Next fight quickly. I just want to show. I mean, I should probably cover his name, right? If he has his real name attached to his PayPal. Do you think that matters? Yeah. All right. Here. Let me try and do that. There you go. I just sent out. Wait, it's not loading.
We don't see. Oh yeah, we see 50.
Yep, I sent $50 BTL prize. I covered his name for him. We sent that out. I have another giveaway to do today for the comments. It's a pretty cool one, and we'll talk about that afterwards. Let's move on to our next fight. Next fight we have is Dennis Buzukja. I guess it's Buzukja versus Connor Matthews. Dennis Buzukja's 11-4. He's 26'5'9" with a 70.5-inch reach. Connor Matthews is 7-1, 31'5'8" with a 71-inch reach. The actions on these guys, you can get Matthews anywhere from plus 102 to plus 108. You can get Buzukja anywhere from plus 120 to plus 130. Drav. Does Dennis finally get right in the UFC and get his first win here against another guy new to the UFC? Or do we just see him get beaten down and picked apart again for another L and probably his papers out of the company?
I'll be honest, guys, I don't have a strong read on this one. Like, I just don't. I've bet Matthews on Contender Series. He was a decent-sized dog. I feel like everybody's on him this week. I understand why, because it's a close fight and he's the underdog. People kind of low on Buzukja now, but yeah, it's kind of tricky for me. I just feel like they both get hit a lot. They're both pretty tough. I know that Buzukja got finished in his last fight, but he's pretty durable. Normally, I don't think he's gonna get finished here. Matthews got that dog in him, you know. He's gonna push forward. He's gonna try to wrestle. He's gonna try to grapple. He's gonna strike. He has some power. Yeah, man, I just don't like the odds. I feel like it's dog or pass. But to me, I feel like I kind of missed the line here. Matthews was around, I think, plus 150 or something couple weeks, not a couple days ago. If you got on that, props to you. I think that was a good bet. But now I think like it's kind of 50-50 fight. It's going to go the distance. But yeah, man, maybe the over 2.5, it's minus 160. It's probably the bet I would give for that fight. I would take for that fight. But man, I don't feel strong about it. Maybe Key, you have a better read than me. No?
Yeah, in this fight, I think that this is two low level to mid tier guys. I think I hate for Buzukja to get his walking papers like this if this is it for him. Because I do think that he put on a fight against Sean Woodson. I know it was a 30-27, but he forced Sean Woodson to show some things off of his game.
Right?
What'd you say?
A week notice, right?
Yeah, that was like 5-6 day
notice.
notice or something. Damn near made weight, dropping over 20 something pounds in a couple days. I mean, the guy's a dog. I'm rooting for him. I think, like you said, both guys are hittable here. I don't have any interest in choosing a side in this fight. And Emmers knocking out Buzukja that quickly. I had a bet on Emmers in that fight. I forget the price that I got, but I had a pretty decent sized bet on Emmers in that fight. And so I think that this is just a fight to sit back and watch, honestly, smoke break for me personally.
All right. I'm the only one who's willing to take a bet here. I played Connor Matthews plus 115. I think he's a side here. Don't get me wrong. I played Dennis plus 3.5 against Emmers. Usually keeps fights relatively close. I thought that was a solid matchup for him. Here, I'm actually fading him. It's going to be one of those guys that I may never be on the right side on. We got on the right track with Mick Parkin last week against Muhammad Usman, who I've always been on the wrong side of. The reason I played Connor Matthews is because of how well-rounded he is and how long his striking is. Like, he throws that 1-2 crisp, he throws it hard, and he throws it long. He's got, like, deceivingly long arms, and I think that's going to keep Dennis at bay. If Dennis tries to wrestle, he's got both the takedown defense and the wrestling himself to do counter wrestling if he decides to. But I think he can kind of just pick Dennis apart on the feet, kind of keep it kind of almost like, I don't want to compare him to Woodson because Woodson's got like freak longer arms and better boxing. But I think fight could be similar where we kind of just watch this guy keep range and just jab him off, keep the distance. Obviously, Dennis has got knockout power, but Connor Matthews, we've seen him hurt or get clapped pretty hard often in fights. He's got a chin. He's got that dog in him. He doesn't give up even if he gets hurt. So, I mean, you're getting plus odds on a dog fighter against a guy in Dennis who hasn't been able to really put it together yet. I'm not sure this is a spot that he does. This is definitely going to be a tough fight for him. This one's going to be close. In a close fight like this, I'd rather have the plus odds and roll Matthews here. I think that Marshall fight, I scale Marshall pretty high. I think that was a good sign because we've always seen Connor Matthews as a hammer. We've never really seen him as a nail. So that was our first time we got to see him as a nail. Show that he has no quit. Shows that he has got the cardio to go 15 minutes. Shows that he doesn't wilt. Like, I think those are all good signs, and he kind of needed that fight to really, round himself out and know he's got that 15 minutes in him. So I think this is a good spot, a good bounce back spot on Connor Matthews here. Let's move on to our next fight. Next fight we have is Julio Arce versus Herbert Burns. Julio Arce, he's 18-6. He is 34 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. Herbert Burns is Gilbert Burns' pathetic younger brother. He's 36, 5'9" with a 74-inch reach. The line on these two guys is minus 400 and plus 300. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really tape this fight, so I don't really have much to say. I think it's dog or pass for me personally, just because Herbert Burns is so live on the ground, especially in round one. If everyone's seen the highlights this week of him finishing Nate Train, so I'll probably play dog or pass here at plus 300. Key, what do you think for this one?
Herbert Burns round one plus 700 is solid in my opinion. I'm not willing to donate that money most likely, but I think that if there is a bet for this fight, it's that. Honestly, this is kind of unbettable. I don't want to play minus 400 on Julio Arce. this is, I mean, we'll see if we can get better prices on DraftKings and FanDuel on Herbert Burns round one, and I might sprinkle something. But this just kind of feels like you're going to get the normal Herbert Burns experience. It'll be fun for the first 3 to 5 minutes. After that, you know how that goes. So not much analysis on this fight. I think that Herbert, I hear a lot of people talking about him getting carried out. I'm pretty sure he did tear his ACL actually. So it wasn't just him like literally just death gassing it around. I'm pretty sure he did actually tear his ACL, and that's why he got carried out by Gilbert, for what it's worth. But yeah, Herbert Burns round one. Otherwise, I don't see a play for this fight.
Drav, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Key. Rather take Burns round one than money line. I think it's a better bet. And normally I don't say that when someone's a big underdog, but I really think he's first round of bust. But another one that I'll give you is Arce round two. It's currently it's plus 325 on Bet Online. You know, if you can get like plus 400 on that, I think it's pretty good because Burns is super dangerous in the first round. I think he's live to get a knockout or a sub early. Like if he doesn't, I think Arce is gonna finish him. And the 2 times that Burn got stopped, it was by KO2, you know. And Arce has good fight IQ. I think he has elite takedown defense. I've bet him against Jackson. He was a big underdog, and I think that if he didn't get hurt many times in that fight, like he made that fight competitive. He did put on a masterclass in my opinion against Daniel Santos. And then he got finished by Song Yedong. No shame in that, really. But yeah, man, I just feel like it's either gonna be Burns round one or Arce KO2 probably. Maybe go the distance because Arce sometimes try to fight safe, and he has some finish in the third round as well. So maybe Arce round 2, round 3, you know. But yeah, if you just look at the number, like the fight doesn't go is minus 325. You can get Burns round 1 plus 700 and Arce round 2 plus 325. Just play 0.5 unit on each. It's going to be better than playing minus 325 on the fight doesn't go. But yeah, I just feel like Arce is the better striker, more cardio. He's younger. And I think that Burns, he has a terrible weight cut at 145. And he's not getting older. He's not getting younger. Like he's 36, back-to-back finish losses. Yeah, so Arce should roll, but we'll see, man.
Yeah. All right, next fight, Key. We're gonna have you start off again just because it's a girl fight, not necessarily low level, but we'll call it low level. It's Virna Jandiroba versus Lupita Godinez. Sorry, Virna is 19-3. She's 35, 5'3" with a 64-inch reach. Lupita or Loopy Godinez is 12-3. She's 30. She's 5'2" with a 61-inch reach. So there's going to be a clear size advantage here, lightly. The lines on these two girls, you can get where is this? You can get Virna anywhere from plus 175 to plus 155. You can get Loopy anywhere from minus 197 to minus 209. So, Key, what do you think? Do you think Virna is going to fraud check Loopy again, or do you think Loopy steamrolls right through her here as she's 35 now?
Yeah, so in this spot, I'm a Loopy guy. I played her against Tabitha.
You're a plant guy too.
Fuck out of here. But I had a minus 132 or something versus Tabitha Ricci. And I don't think that was a split decision. I think that was a clear 29-28, if not a 30-27. And Elise Reed, Loopy pretty much killed her. I don't think that this is a fight where Loopy should be minus 200, honestly. I do think that she wins, but I'm not sure unless her boxing just looks absolutely great in this fight. I'm not sure that she's going to look minus 200. Now, Virna on the feet, I don't think that she really has much for Loopy, but it's not like Loopy's throwing a bunch of kicks and keeping distance, which that leads us to a lot of clinch situations, a lot of trips, a lot of wrestling. And while Loopy does have good wrestling, I think that once Virna in a lot of her fights, if Virna gets a takedown, it's damn near the round or the fight. Her top control is probably some of the best in the division. And I'm not fully confident in Loopy's defensive BJJ, honestly. I think that Loopy gets it done here. In terms of props, I think Verna, what is that sub? Plus 425. That's kind of But yeah, spread's unplayable too. I think that this is I like Loopy's KO. I'm hoping for a better price on commercial books to play that. And round 2, round 3 potentially, because Verna's gas tank is really questionable. So I think that late Loopy has the chance to look really well. But round 1, I think round 1 pretty much decides the fight. If Verna can get some top time, it could get kind of tricky. But if Verna doesn't get any top time in round 1, I think Loopy's good for smooth sailing the rest of the way.
Yeah, I kind of think you broke it down perfectly. I'll just piggyback on that a little bit. I kind of think you look at these two girls. I think that Loopy's striking has looked better, especially now that she's out of Canada and she is with Diego Lopez, right? She's down at Globo, right? That's where Loopy is now. I think her striking's looked a little bit better since she's moved there. You look at these two girls. Loopy's got great takedowns, but her top control and everything like that, not tremendous. And if you look at Verna, she's kind of the opposite. Marina made her look like she was like a takedown machine. Her takedowns really aren't that great. Her setups aren't great. But once she gets you down, she's great at jiu-jitsu and she'll hold you down. So these girls are like two opposites. One girl can get you down but can't keep you down. The other girl can not get you down, but once you're down, she can hold you down. Striking-wise, I give the edge to Loopy slightly. I mean, depending on we've seen her improve since she's been at Globos. If it continues to improve that way, I think Loopy's the side. Me personally, neither of these girls have gotten finished anytime recently, and I don't think Verna's ever been finished, period. So I think they gave I gave out over 2.5 as part of a parlay piece with another fighter on this card. I'm just playing the over here. Drav, gonna close us out on this one. We'll get to the next one.
I think Loopy's gonna look more than minus 200 here. Maybe that's a wide take. Yeah, I do think that her boxing's gonna look insane. I think after this fight, people are gonna probably overrate Loopy a little bit, just because, like you said, Jandiroba is a good wrestler. I think she's an elite grappler, but like her striking's not good, dude. Like I've bet her at plus 175 against Marina Rodriguez. I bet 2 units on that. Like that was easy, but Marina Rodriguez, she can defend a takedown to save her life, and she has very bad get-up game. So like that was an easy bet, you know. In this fight, it's different. Loopy's the better striker. Like she's the much better striker. It's not even close, and she's also the better wrestler. So what's Jandiroba's gonna do? Like she's the better grappler. I understand that, but like she's gonna need to take Loopy down, which I don't think she can, to be honest. Or she's gonna need to rely on Loopy to take her down, which potentially she can't. She would, because sometimes her fight IQ is not the best. But like I think that I don't think Jandiroba is gonna take Loopy down. So I think it's gonna stay on the feet, where Loopy is the much better boxer, and she has more power and she has the better chin. So I know Jandiroba has never been KO in her career yet, but like she got hurt in some fights. Like I think the Ribas fight was the fight that she almost died. I think in the 3rd round, or just I think that was in the 2nd round. She like dropped Ribas, but after that she almost died. But you know, Ribas tried to do some weird stuff in that fight. She lost a striking base fight against Mackenzie Dern. What did you just do to here, Peg? Did you just dab at the same time?
Yeah, that was a sneeze. That was covering up a sneeze.
Okay.
I'm glad I muted the mic in time. All right, continue. Okay. Sorry about that.
So yeah, I mean, what I was saying. Yeah, so she got beat by Dern. Like when she fought people that can stop her wrestling and decent grappler that can outstrike her, she lose. Like she lose by Ribas. She got outstruck by Ribas. She got outstruck by Mackenzie Dern. And she got out wrestled by Carla Esparza, you know? And she beat Marina Rodriguez, who can defend a takedown. She beat Angela Hill, who doesn't have the best takedown defense and is not dangerous. She beat Morata. She beat Felice Eric. She beat Mallory Martin. And yeah, that's it, you know? So, like I said, I think she didn't fought many people that are dangerous. I know Loopy, like I said, she has 0 KO in her career, so kind of crazy for me to say that she can get a knockout, but I think she could. I think that's a matchup that she's the much better striker. And like she just fought Richie. I think Richie was a tougher matchup. Maybe it's crazy, but I think Richie striking is better than Jandiroba, and I think her wrestling is potentially better. Jandiroba much more dangerous and much better grappler again. But yeah, I mean, Loopy takedown defense is very good in my opinion. And yeah, I think recently she has been looking better. She's now with like Diego Lopez or BJJ coach. She's out there with all these people. Look at the Instagram. She looks all of them to be on some stupid juice. It's crazy. Yeah, so she has a good camp with Alexa Grasso and all of them. We know that these people grappling and BJJ has been looking very, very good lately. So she has the good people around her. She just needs to not get sub, and I think she wins. Don't shoot takedown, please, and defend the takedowns and piece her up on the feet. So yeah, man. I'm not saying I play her at minus 200. Maybe I did at a better price. Yeah, maybe. I think her KO prop is decent. I think you can potentially get plus 900 or plus 1,000 on another book. So be patient. But yeah, I think she's going to look like a big favorite. And maybe she gets sub. But I think that's Jandiroba path to victory. And I don't see her winning outside of that.
Yeah, I pretty much agree here. I think Loopy's aside. She's going to look good. Next fight, Jamal Emmers, 20-7. He's 34, 5'10 with a 75-inch reach. He is fighting the Nate Train, Nate Landwehr. He's 17-5. He's 35, 5'9 with a 70-inch reach. So Jamal's got the height and reach advantage and the age advantage. I think he's got a lot of advantages. But I'm going to let Dravhy break this one down first. The lines on these two fighters, Jamal Emmers is minus 200 to minus 2. Well, actually, I lied. Now he's minus 220 to minus 240. Nate Landwehr is anywhere from plus 170 to plus 190. Drav, do you think that Jamal Emmers, who's relatively inconsistent at times in his career, deserves a minus 240 price tag against a guy with the constant pressure and, well-roundingness of Nate Landwehr?
It's kind of tough to say because I back Hammer in his last fight against Buzukja. He was minus 200, I think minus 225, and I bet him minus 225, I think, in that fight. And people were saying the same things, but sometimes I feel like someone can just be the better fighter. In this spot, I would not touch the price, but I had some good success against Hammer. I've bet him against Asar above. I don't know how to say that name, but the 20-year-old guy that was kind of a fraud. He was plus 130. That was good money. I bet the fight go the distance against Jack Jenkins. I know people got robbed on Emmers here. He won that fight, in my opinion. Definitely. And I bet him against Buzukja. So in this fight, I think the over is the spot. I didn't bet it yet. I'm not too sure I will because Nate the Train is gonna do Nate the Train thing. He's gonna make this fight a banger probably. And he gets hit a lot. He's gonna pressure a lot. He's gonna put himself in danger, and he's gonna put Emmers in danger, in my opinion. So I just feel like Landwehr is the type of guy that get hurt, but is very hard to finish. And Emmers is more of a decision guy. He's not. I know he just got a knockout in the first round, but don't put too much stock into that. That's not what he does normally. I think that both of them are more like a decision fighter. But Nate the Train can break people that gas out, or he can make them gas out. And David Onama fight was crazy. If you guys didn't watch Nate the Train versus David Onama, go watch that. That was a banger of a fight. But sometimes he has these type of fight that are a banger but go the distance. He didn't get finished by Danny Gay. That was close, I think, twice or three times in that fight. So yeah, I feel like people potentially is gonna get burned here. Gonna bet the under because the under is gonna look like value and not cash, but I kind of think that it's going to be a decision either way. I think there's some value on Nate here. I think Emmers win, but a minus EV win. You know what I mean? Probably going to be a 29-28 decision. When Nate get KO, it's like flying knee or knees or stuff like that. And Emmers just doesn't do that. He has some spinning back kick that he can potentially knock him out with. I don't see either of these guys having much success with their wrestling. So I think they're gonna strike, and I think they're durable enough. They have good cardio to make it go over 2.5, and it's minus 140. So I think it's a pretty decent leg, or just a bet in general. I'm not sure I would get there, but I'm considering it.
Jav, what if you were to guess? What do you think Jamal Emmers' takedown defense is?
I'll say probably around 65 to 70%.
65%, 65, 70.
Yeah, something around that probably.
Okay. His takedown defense is 90%, bro. 90.
It's even better than I thought. But
Exactly. And I think we're going to segue in. I think that both,
he didn't really fought people that try to take him down that much though. But he's a good wrestler. He has a wrestling background, so I don't think either of them going to be successful with wrestling here.
And he's got and he's got that tall man wrestling. He's got good takedown defense. Like you said, Nate Train's going to want to make this a war. They're in front of a live crowd, everything like that. I think Emmers has the length and the counter striking to kind of sit on his bike, set him up, throw the jab, catch Nate with counters coming in. Nate's very hittable. One thing about Nate that you see on tape often is when Nate's hurt or Nate presses in with his 1, 2, 3, maybe throws a 4 and a 5. Once he's in there, he's grabbing for the legs right away and wants to get a takedown sometimes, especially when he's hurt. And this is one of those situations where I think if Emmers catches him, he's not going to find that takedown, which means he's going to be in a lot of trouble. I played Emmers money line minus 195 or minus 200 in that parlay with the over of that Loopy Verna fight. I played that for, I think 2 units. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I played it for 1.5 units. It's plus 105. So I played that one. That's kind of how I wanted to play Emmers. I wouldn't play him straight at that price. But, Key, what do you think?
Muted. Yeah, so I got Emmers at minus 110. My only regret is I didn't nuke that spot. I think that this is an Emmers spot. Nate the Train, it's funny because a lot of these action fighters, whenever you think of these action fighters, you think of good chins. I don't think that Nate the Train has a great chin. And honestly, I don't know why they won't just give him and Billy Q a spot on some random fight night card in front of a crowd. Like that is the fight to make for them. Danny Gay didn't make sense to me. Emmers doesn't make sense to me. And I bet Nate against Austin Lingo. I have a pretty good read on Emmers. I bet him last time out against Buzukja, as I mentioned earlier. Emmers, it sucks. I think that this guy, like, I wish he wasn't getting old already because he's so fucking talented. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, if he didn't get his knee completely ripped out against Sabatini and robbed against Jack Jenkins, I think that his career arc looks completely different. And we're talking about a top 15 guy that's close to making a real run. Because he has all the tools, a beautiful jab. He uses his length well, great defensive wrestling. We know that he can grapple. Showed off some knockout power in his last fight. I think that there's a spot for him at minus 220 to minus 245. I'm not really looking to play it anymore. Minus 110, I'm very happy with. I know some people got plus money on initial drop. But yeah, so I'm happy with minus 110. That's why you guys sign up to a dub club. Maybe I can buy a new webcam if a couple more of y'all sign up. So let's see.
I liked it. I also like the background. The mic sounds a lot clearer. It's bringing new life to this podcast, hearing your voice and everything like that.
Yo, make sure you drop a like on the video, right?
Keep some good effort.
We need 30 likes on this video, guys. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, and I have a something going for comments. I got a little something going on for these guys. Let's move on to our next fight and keep this rolling. Try and keep it under an hour and a half. Next fight we have is Chidi Njokwani. He is Chidi Bang Bang. He is 22-10. He is 35, 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. He is fighting Skeletor Vs Mckee, 13-5-1, 28-6'2" with a 78-inch reach. I'm going to start us off first. I think the dog wins. I think Vs Mckee's the side. I was watching Vs Mckee all week. I just couldn't get there because obviously saying out loud, you're going to bet me Vs Mckee is dirty. And I watched him at last Wednesday. I was looking at the line and he was plus 180. And then I looked later on in the week and he was plus 160. So I kind of knew, all right, the line's coming down. This is where I want to be. Here's why. Not big on Chidi. I think Chidi, don't get me wrong, unbelievable kickboxer, so grappling, but he quits and he can show gas issues at times. And I think Vs Mckee is the epitome of get beat, let the guy beat your ass till you're tired, and then turn it on. The only thing he really knows how to do is kickbox and stay long. I don't think Chidi would threaten with any grappling. I think he would get the fight he wants in a kickboxing match. I think Chidi would eventually get broken. We also have Chidi going down in weight. This is at 170. Chidi's normally a 185er. I don't know why he's coming down in weight at what I say, 35 years old. I think it's very odd. I think Vs Mckee is due for a win here. I think he's a live dog. Obviously, the line has pushed to plus 110. I'm not going to bet it now. I'm just going to watch and enjoy as a fan, but I think the dog's aside here. I think he breaks Chidi and wins this fight. Who won? Dravhy, you go next, then we'll go Key.
Key can't wait to talk about Chidi Bang Bang. He loves him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a banger. I really think it's gonna be a banger. I was actually looking into the stats about Chidi when he was at 170 earlier in his career, when he was in Bellator, and even before that, when he was much younger, and he was missing weight a lot. Like you see 174, 173, 179. He has some catch weight at 190 pounds. He came in a fight at 185. He was 189. So that's a guy that has been missing weight to, a lot of his fights, like a lot when he was at 170. So now he's going to try to make back that, to go back down at 35 years old when he was at middleweight for the last couple of years. So I think it's going to be a rough cut, and I don't think he's going to make it. I'll say that right now. I think he's going to come at like 173, 174, which is, look, I know exactly what's going to happen, okay? He's going to look bad on the scales. He's going to make 174, and people are going to keep betting Mckee again, and the line's going to be like a pick 'em or so. Something like that's going to happen. But he's going to miss weight. Like, he's going to miss weight, guys. It's not going to make the weight. And I don't think it's a bad thing that he doesn't make it. I think it's like if you have a bet on Chidi, I think that you want him to miss weight so then he doesn't drain himself, right? So, but look at this. When people are going to say, oh, he doesn't look good on the scale, and you're going to see these Mckee bet, but I just don't agree with it. Yeah, and I know Key's going to talk about it, but Mckee's a dog. Like, he's going to accept the fight. He's going to take the money, and he's not going to care. I think Chidi know that. So, but Chidi at 170, like, he's going to be much, much bigger and much stronger than Mckee. Like, the dude's a phenomenal striker. Like, his kickboxing is nasty. His power's like crazy. And he can hurt you with a lot of shots, like the elbows, the knees, the straight down the pipe, the hooks, like everything, the kicks. Like, the dude's so dangerous. The problem is that he's slowed down after 5 minutes, and he doesn't like he's not good when he fought good adversity. When he try to kill someone and it doesn't die, they don't die, like, he tend to quit. It's not that, like, yeah, it's cardio issues, but he's kind of a quitter in my opinion. Like, in the Mikal fight, like, he quit in that fight. He gave him everything that he could, and Mikal was still there. He almost died twice, but he was still there, and then he quit. Same for the RoboCup fight. He got tired in that fight, but he quit on the ground. He legitimately quit. Same for the Mikal fight. So I just feel like he's someone that's going to fight hard for your money for 4 or 5 minutes. And then if he doesn't get you out of there, he's going to kind of quit. So, and Mckee is notorious for surviving and being tough, you know? So that's to me, that's fucking fun fight, because you're going to see a guy in Chidi that's going to go out there and he's going to try to kill him in the first round. And if he doesn't kill him in the first round, and I think he has good chances to do so, by the way, because Mckee's so hittable, and I think Chidi's the much better striker and much more dangerous. But I think Mckee's more durable. I think he has that dog in him. I think he has much better cardio. And we have seen him many times to come alive after 5 rounds, after a round, and then finishing people in the second or third round. So I feel like he's live to do that in that spot. But I would not bet plus 110, plus 120, because you're gonna be sweating, because he's gonna have to come. He's gonna have to survive a big storm, you know. I think it's better to bet Mckee after like 3-4 minutes if you want to bet him, because it's probably going to be plus 250, or you just bet Mckee round 2, Mckee round 3, or you bet Chidi KO1. You can get Chidi KO1 at plus 250 on Bet365, and you can get Mckee round 2 plus 750 and round 3 at like plus 1000. So I think that's the way to go. Fight doesn't go is a good look as well. I think Chidi is gonna finish him in the first round, but man, I'm not confident. Like, I can see this fight going either way. So I don't blame people betting Mckee when he was plus 170, plus 160. I think that was a good bet. But now at what is plus 120, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, plus 120. Yeah, I don't like it anymore. I think it's better to attack the round props here. I think that's the way to go.
Okay. Key, what do you got for your boy Chidi?
All right. So there's been a lot of arguments this week over this fight. I think that this is a fun, exciting fight. I think this is a great matchmaking for a crowd specifically. I do think Chidi's been with the PI. It seems as if, and the PI does do full testing to let you know what weight you can make safely. That is how they help negotiate some of these contracts for weight classes and stuff like that. They do a shit ton of testing at the PI. Do I think that Chidi can make this weight on 12 to 16 week notice? Maybe. Do I think that he makes it on 8 to 10 week notice? No. I think that he comes in a little bit over anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds over. I think that that's what he comes in at. But Mckee is not going to be a guy that doesn't accept the fight, as Dravhy mentioned. Mckee's a dog. And I will say, for what it's worth, Mckee's round 2, round 3 KO props are good bets. But his money line at anything lower than plus 160, plus 170 to me is a bad bet. Because if you're betting a slight dog, you want to see a path for them other than getting the shit beat out of them for 5 minutes and then they come alive. That's just not a plus EV bet in my opinion. I do have Chidi KO at plus 130. I'm happy with that price. I think that he absolutely kills him. Chidi's going to look like a fucking light heavyweight compared to Reese in there. Like, it's just the physicality difference is going to be absolutely disgusting. Chidi's Muay Thai, the knees to the body. I mean, it's disgusting shit for the first 5 minutes or so. I don't think that Chidi's just an instant. Now, did he quit against Malkoun? Yes. But I don't think that that's just what's going to happen here. I think that he knows that he's fighting for his job. And I think that he's going to fight like somebody that's fighting for his job. Versus RoboCop, people have to remember all these fights that he's losing, he's having crazy moments early. RoboCop dropped him. We saw the gash on RoboCop's face that went viral everywhere. And then versus Malkoun's just a guy that another freak of nature that is just coming at you with nonstop aggression. And Reese just is not that. He is not one of those guys. He is not a guy that's just going to walk you down and throw these big meat hooks in your face and you feel like you can't breathe. Now, Mckee may stick out a jab and he may walk you down in round 3 KO. Could be eventual just because it just off of accumulation. But I don't think that this is a spot where Reese is just going to make him look like shit in round 2. I think that there's a world where Chidi could win both 2 rounds and then survive round 3. People have to remember versus Dravhy, he did not quit. Even after getting grappled for a lot of time, he didn't quit on himself. Now, did he look gassed? Yeah. But he didn't quit. I do think that this cut is going to be kind of rough. I'm wondering why they did, why he made this switch. But I think that he also understands that the physicality difference at welterweight for him is just going to be absolutely nasty. And like I said, everybody's talking about the RoboCop fight and the Malkoun fight. And while I understand it, those guys are 2 aggressive guys that are huge who are just walking you down in your face. Reese is not that, man. Reese is not that. Bad takedown defense. It's not like he's pushing some crazy pace himself. Guys are just beating his ass for so long that they just get tired eventually. And that could be the thing here. But at plus 130, I'll take a KO bet every day of the week because Chidi has some of the best Muay Thai and MMA, period, regardless of organization, regardless of weight class. I think he has some of the best Muay Thai in the game, period. I think that he's going to be, and like I said, the physicality difference at this weight class is going to be disgusting. Mckee's been touched up by literally everybody, and they're calling him the Irish Zombie, and the zombie's going to die here. So I think that this is a Chidi bang bang spot. I'm excited. If he could make weight, it'd be very, very funny if he could make weight and actually come into the fight, get around 1 KO and show that maybe this is a weight class that he can ride out for a couple more fights and have some fun fights. But this is Chidi bang bang KO round 1. I'll be here to put out that green ticket on Saturday.
Drav, thank you for that idea. I'm going to be taking Reese Mckee live when Chidi doesn't get that round 1 KO and he finishes Chidi late. Next fight, Bill Algeo versus Kyle Nelson. Bill Algeo, he's 18-7. He's 34, 6 feet with 73 inches of reach. Kyle Nelson's 15-5. He's 32, 5'11 with a 71-inch reach. Damn, Kyle Nelson looks way older than he actually is. It's kind of crazy that all these guys, like we're talking about like Bill Algeo and stuff, and he's 34 now. I remember him when he was like 27. He's Bill Algeo's anywhere from minus 225 to minus 250. Nelson's anywhere from plus 203 to plus 175. Key, start us off here. Do you think Bill Algeo just stunts on this guy, Kyle Nelson? I think he does. I kind of think he's got the jiu-jitsu to compete with them. I think he's got the striking to compete with them. I think he's going to stunt all over Kyle Nelson. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is a Billy, what they call him, Senor Perfecto.
Senor Perfecto.
Yeah, this is definitely his spot. I think he's a good parlay piece this week. Kyle Nelson has a way of just mucking up fights and just making it weird, awkward decisions. I played Doohoo Choi over him and lost that, or pushed that. And then Builder, I played like a dumbass and lost that ticket too. I don't really have a great history capping this guy, but I think that eventually skills have to prevail. He's sort of figured out weird ways to win these last two. I think that Padilla whoops his ass in a rematch, honestly. I think that was just a weird-ass fight. And I think that you run that back, Padilla beats his ass. I think that Doohoo Choi beats his ass in another one too. I don't know how this guy still is in the UFC, honestly. It's frustrating to watch. But I think that Bill Algeo, he has, like Peg mentioned, has good BJJ. I think he's a high-level black belt, crafty off of his back. And I don't think that Nelson is good on top, in my opinion. I think that he has top time upside versus guys that don't necessarily know what they're doing off of bottom, but he's not safe against Algeo. I think that the sub prop is a decent look. Algeo doesn't really, there is a world where he does just throw that jab out so many times that he ends up getting around 3 KO or so, because Nelson does sort of look bad early. But I think that Algeo has a cardio upside. He's a smoother guy on the feet, better on the ground. I think this is Algeo spot. I'll probably look to parlay on myself.
Key, let me tell you, this new mic sounds so good. It makes me almost want to tell you at some points. It's crazy. It's something special. Drav, you're up next. What do you think about this one?
I kind of agree with Key. I think Algeo will win. I think it's going to be a decision. Personally, I don't think he finished Kyle Nelson, because we have to give credit to Kyle Nelson. In my opinion, I've tried to fade him a couple of times, and the dude been improving. Like, you have to give him credit for that. Like, he dropped down a weight class. He's more physical than most people at 145. He improved his cardio. He slowed down his opponents, and he's fighting technical, and he's fighting with good fight IQ. So, yeah, I think he looked good in his last fight against Padilla. That was kind of impressive to me. I think Padilla is a much better finisher than Bill Algeo, actually. I think Algeo is a good finisher, but he's not like a crazy finisher. Like, he finished people late when they kind of gas out and make mistakes. But the dude's more of a decision guy, in my opinion. And the dude can be finished, also. Like, he has some elite submission defense, and he has an elite chin. Like, he got cracked by fucking bums in some fight that I've watched, and he doesn't die. That's a guy that didn't get finished by Brito, Burns, Hernandez. All these guys are better finisher than Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson has power. He's probably gonna crack Algeo in some spots. So that's kind of my worry here. Backing Bill Algeo at minus 225, because he get hit a lot. He get cracked, and he doesn't have good defense really. But he has better cardio, better volume, and he's the better grappler. So he should look good. He should win this fight. I think he has all the finishing upside as well. But yeah, I have like a scenario in my head that it's a fucking close 29-28 decision, and Nelson could potentially win a split decision. You know what I mean? I'm kind of confident that it's going to go the distance. I think the over 2.5 is a good parlay piece. Just because, like I said, I don't think Algeo is going to get finished, and I don't really give him much finishing upside either. So if they go the distance, I think Nelson could potentially win a round. But yeah, it could be close because Algeo is going to get hit, and Nelson is good at at winning some minutes at times. So, and Algeo was good at losing some minutes too much, in my opinion. So yeah, man, Algeo decision, but the round 3 is probably how he finished. Round 2, round 3 Algeo. It's not a bad play either. You can get the round 3 that Key talk about plus 1250. The Algeo.
Not bad.
I think it's pretty decent. So yeah, man, you should win, but I think the chalk's a little bit too much.
Yeah, I agree. I got no play here. I'm going to be watching as a fan. All right. Next fight is a popular dog this week for a lot of people. We got Nursultan Ruziboev versus Cedric Dumas, or Dumbass, if you've ever watched tape on him. Nursultan is 33-8-2. He's 36-5 with no reach. There's no fucking way he's 6'5". He is fighting Dumas or Dumbass 28-6'2 with a 79-inch reach. The odds on these guys, you can get Dumbass anywhere from plus 220 to plus 185. If you're really gonna, why would you even buy plus 180 and plus 185 when he's plus 200 pretty much everywhere else or more? Nursultan's anywhere from minus 237 to minus 270. I'll let Key go first on this one, then I'll go after. Key, tell me, who are you betting for this?
It's MMA Twitter fight of the week. It's the main event.
This is my Super Bowl. This is my NBA championship. Last week, I think it was Lesniakova. We cashed that one. This is a clear dog shot in my opinion. I don't know how anybody can confidently back Ruziboev after watching his tape. I will say that one armbar they got, that's a fixed fight. That has to be a fixed fight. I'm sorry. Watch that fight back. I wish I had the link at hand. But watch that fight back and you'll see that was a fixed fight. I think that Dumas here has top time upside. In his regionals, you know, I remember watching I think that was his second fight with Icon FC. I was watching that live because I think Bo Nickel was on the same card. And I watched him get that head kick knockout. And I think that he's a way more explosive striker than what he's shown in the UFC. I'm not sure if it's jitters. I'm not sure if it's nervous or just weird energy that he has going into these fights. But he's a much better striker than what he's shown. He's definitely explosive. He does have KO power. I think that his leg kicks and jab, if he really learns how to sit behind them, I think that they can be a real weapon for him throughout the rest of his career. He almost sat down Azitar in the third round with the jab. I think that this is a guy that he's not as bad as everybody says. I know he's a meme because he goes to jail every other week. And I honestly don't care about that at plus 250. I'm not worried about your home life at that price. So I think that he talked about in his interview wanting to up the volume a little more. Ruziboev's cardio is a little bit untested. Whenever he has went to decision, he's lost. I think that Dumas' decision at plus 700 on DraftKings is a decent shot. I think plus 250 money line I posted earlier in this week is a great shot also. This is a Dumas spot. I think that, again, Ruziboev accepts takedowns. He's everything that you don't want in a minus 250. Accepting bottom, throwing up shit off of his back. On the feet, is there a chance that he nukes Dumas? Potentially, but we've never seen Dumas just get completely cracked. So I think that there's a lot of questions on both sides. Whenever there's questions, it's easy to ride with the wide dog. And so at plus 250, this is a no-brainer for me. I think the decision prop is nice. Ruziboev's a fraud, just so everybody understands, he's a complete fraud. This may not be the spot to fade him. But if it is, it'll look like the greatest bet of all time. If Dumas gets his ass kicked, it looks like the worst. I'm willing to die with either option here. So Dumas plus 250.
All right. So I'm not playing anything here. This is a pass because me personally, I think, you almost got to call the hotline if you're betting on either of these guys. I think they both suck. I think Nursultan's bad. I think Dumbass is worse. I think sure, Nursultan may be considered a fraud. I mean, you see him when he gets taken down. He does this from what a guy from Uzbekistan, that watching him getting taken down and flail and accepting bottom and everything that goes on there. Like when he fought, what was his name? This guy. can't think of his. Mane, Ibrahim Mane. That guy getting top control on him was something wild. I mean, he slam KO'd him. I mean, he's got chokes, Kimuras, all these meme stoppages. This is literally the epitome of a meme fight. And who wins a meme fight? A guy who has more meme finishes. You look at Nursultan. I'm going to play Nursultan by sub if the line's good on DraftKings. I think he subs Dumas here. No other reason than, we've watched Dumas in his past few fights. We know Cody Brundage got him down twice. We know and almost got a sub, but that's, his jackass shit that he always gets. Josh Fremd actually finished the sub. He got him down twice. The striking was disgusting there. I'm not really too high on Josh Fremd. Sure, his grappling looks better as of late, but I think he's going to, Nursultan's live to get the takedown here. The Abu Azatar fight, I think I played Dumas in that spot. I can't remember. My point there is that I think he should have beat the brakes off of Abu if he was the real deal, personally. Abu sucks. He's old. He's a death gasser, and he couldn't even finish him towards the end of it. I think Dumas did, if I remember correctly, Dumas did get a takedown in that fight. He also has a sub in his Contender Series fight, so he's not horrible on the ground as they're making him sound, but he is pretty bad. Also, he's not Nursultan. He's not in Uzbekistan or wherever the fuck he was fighting and beating up cans and taxi drivers and wherever you want to call them and fixed fights or whatever they're calling it. Now we're seeing him he's at that Marquez MMA gym in Philly. You're watching tapes of him. He was actually a training partner for Joe Pyfer for his last fight. I mean, that's not really fucking great. Look how that turned out. But hey, he's now in a gym with real fighters practicing real shit. And I think this is going to be a good meme fight for the crowd. I mean, you got to look at his Tapology and laugh. He's 20-1 to the sub. So odds are he gets him down and wins. But like Key said, and I'm sure Dravhy's going to harp on this too. If you look at Ruziboev to decision, he's 2-6 to the decision. So he does not win fights if it goes the distance, which could be a good angle if you're going to play Dumas. You could probably play Nursultan by sub and Dumas by decision and probably net some sort of profit there. So I'm going to lean, because I have to plant a flag and decide what side I'm on. I'm leaning Nursultan by sub. I think he subs Dumbass. And Drav, you take us home and be the level ground. Where do you think this goes?
Yeah, I'm not passionate like you guys on this fight. Like I tried to bet Dumas. I did the tapes. I think he has top time upside. I think Ruziboev takedown defense is very bad. Dumas has shown in the UFC to be more of a wrestler, which is kind of surprising because, like he said, I had some high hopes with him in the UFC after watching all of his regional fights. He's a flashy striker. He has power. And Ruziboev is going to be bigger here. Right? You said you don't think he's 6'5". I think he's a 6'4", 6'5". He's very tall. And his striking is not as bad as what I thought when I look into tapes. He has some power. And he's catching the kicks and he's kind of dropping people with a straight down the pipe like he did against Ferreira, and he knocked him out. And if you look, Dumas, he got Azaitar keep doing that to him. He was catching the kick, punching him. Dumas was falling down. That's not good for the judges. They don't like action like that. And Ruziboev was doing that to a lot of people in the regional. He has a lot of submission win, but I think there's some weird win in these fights. Like he said, I think there's some potentially rigged fight. But yeah, he has some power. I don't really rate both of them. I think that he's 2-6 to the decision. I think Dumas. I favor Dumas in the decision, but I think that Ruziboev has more finishing upside and he's live to either knock him out or submit him. But I don't have a strong read on this fight, guy. I think the over 1.5 or the fight go the distance, it can be a good look. I don't know if I'm gonna get there. I understand the bets on Dumas plus 250. I don't want to get involved with the money line, but I think you're kind of crazy if you're betting Ruziboev minus 275 because he has a lot of fights, but we don't really know much. We don't really know much about him. So to me, I don't even know who's going to win the fight. So just based on that, you got to play Dumas. I think I'm gonna pick Ruziboev to win, I guess, but I'm not confident. And if I'm not confident, a side is plus 250, another one's minus 200. Like if I bet the fight, it's kind of an easy bet, but I just don't want to get involved. I think the over is kind of better than the money line, but I'm not too confident because if you bet the over, then why not take Dumas because he has a decision upside. So you kind of take decision upside plus some finishing upside on his side. So yeah, like you guys can understand, I don't feel strong about this fight. I think he and potentially Peg has a stronger read than me on this one. So yeah, man.
He's probably got the strongest read out of anyone, to be honest. Let's go to next fight. We got Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. Chris Weidman's 39, 6'2", with a 78-inch reach out of New York, out of Long Island, Strong Island. We got Bruno Silva, 23 and 10. He's 34, 6 feet with a 74-inch reach. The action on these two gentlemen, we have Weidman anywhere from plus 195 to plus 215. Money's coming in on the All-American. And then you got Bruno Silva anywhere from minus 275 to minus 230 to minus 290, which is kind of wild. FanDuel is so behind, it's fucking crazy. To be honest, I'll start us off just because Mineola, that's where I was born. That's where Weidman is out of. So he's a hometown boy. This is Weidman or pass again for me. And, last fight, Weidman, I played Weidman plus 280 early against Brad Tavares, beat the line there. And Weidman was just a nasty motherfucker and kicked that bad leg of his all fight, beat him up, and kind of did whatever he wanted with Weidman, I guess. Weidman's 39. He's a little bit older. Here's a catch. Does he got one more fight in him? I think he does. Am I going to bet it? I think I am. If you look at these two gentlemen, Weidman is now everyone's on the quote unquote juice or starting to juice up a little bit. I think that's perfect for Weidman here. You look at a guy who in Bruno Silva is 0-7 to the sub, right? I think Dravhy made this point earlier in the week. I'm just reiterating it again. That's a guy who is a strict kickboxer. When he gets to the ground, he's fucked. The All-American is a great wrestler. He's got 4 subs on his record. He's subbing guys like Kelvin Gastelum. It's a good sub. He had he also subbed what's his name way back in the day? The guy at the Tom Lawler, but that was like way back when, right before he fought Damian Maia. But either way, I think Weidman's definitely live for a sub here if he gets the takedown. I think he didn't get the takedowns against Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares does have good takedown defense. I think that's the difference here. Can Chris Weidman get chinned? He's 39. Yes, absolutely he can. Obviously, Bruno Silva is a pretty good kickboxer. I mean, he went the distance with Alex Pereira. I don't know. I think Weidman's aside. I think UFC is trying to push him to get one more win in a quote-unquote hometown fight in Jersey. Crowd will be there. I'm going to play Weidman. Fuck it. I'm in. I'm playing money line for a unit, and I'm going to play sub at whatever prop FanDuel or DraftKings gives it to me. I think Weidman wins by sub. Keith, go next, and then we'll go to Drav.
Yeah, so I got Weidman sub plus 900 on Bet Online on initial drop. I believe that FanDuel and DraftKings has 850 and 800 right now. Okay. I like those prices all the way until like plus 700. Honestly, I played plus 900 for a quarter of a unit, and then I filled in the last remaining unit with Chris Weidman money line, and so I got that at plus 215 earlier today. In this spot, I think that Weidman gets him down. I think that he looks like a wide favorite, period. I don't rate Silva's grappling very high. I think that his initial takedown defense is pretty good. But I think that once he's flat on his back, I think that it's going to be over for either the round or the fight. I think that people forget how elite of a grappler Weidman really is. And even with all the injuries that he's had, I think that he's still a solid guy. In the Brad Tavares fight, watching it live, it felt like I was watching like animal abuse, honestly. But watching it back, it felt like I was watching a real fight. I think that Weidman did a good job of walking him down. His jab was out there. In the third round, he touched him up against the cage. Silva throws those meat hooks for 5 minutes. If Weidman's still around, no telling how that shit goes after that. I think that Weidman here has a wide grappling edge. I think his cardio is probably going to look a little bit better. He's in Atlantic City. I think he's 4-0 in Atlantic City in his career. It's going to be a hometown crowd for him. Going to be a lot of people in there for him. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug. I think that this is a Weidman spot at minus 250, minus 270. You can't be trusting Bruno Silva in any fight. And if Bruno comes out the way he looked against Gerald Meerschaert, I don't expect him to. But if he does, he's for sure going to lose. There's zero doubt in my mind he loses if he has a Gerald Meerschaert type of performance. So I think that he better get onto those leg kicks and those hooks early. And if he doesn't get him out of there around 1, I'm not sure how things look. And keep in mind, Gerald Meerschaert doubled him and took him off his feet in the first round because he was coming in swinging crazy shit. If he swings that crazy shit, I think the Weidman time's a good takedown. And if he gets him out on open mat without the cage to help him post and get up, I think it's for sure the round or the fight. So at this spot, there's an easy Weidman bet. I've been pretty good in retirement fights. I bet Lawler at plus 220. I bet Joanne Wood. Most significant strikes. So retirement fights have done me pretty well. I'm pretty sure that there's a retirement fight for Chris. So I think that he can hang him up with the win here.
Nice. All right, Drav, break us down. What do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. Both of you guys, the breakdown was pretty good, so I'm not going to add much, but there's no way you can bet Bruno Silva. If anything, bet his scale prop. You can get minus 120 or something on some books. That's the way to go. That's the way he wins. But how does he win outside of that? Maybe that's a wide take, but I don't see him winning by sub, and I don't really think if a decision favor him. On the other hand, I think that Weidman can submit him for sure. I think he can win a decision based off wrestling, and I think he can. I'm not confident that he could knock him out, but he could. I'm not saying that it's bad, but he definitely could knock him out. I was surprised going back into tapes and watching him. He has some power. Even the Tavares fight, I bet Tavares in that fight. Let me tell you something. The guy was on one leg after one round, and he kind of cracked him twice in the second and in the third round. I was kind of sweating a little bit. That was crazy. Bruno Silva is very dangerous, very big power guy. You could knock him out. We know that Weidman has been KO a couple times. Go ahead.
Drav, let me interrupt you real quick. We were talking about Emmers earlier. Emmers just got bet down to minus 181 on Bet Online.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I think that's a solid price, honestly.
How did that even?
Somebody must have nuked Nate the Train. But yeah. Continue though, Drav.
That's a wild nuke.
Yeah, that's a big that's a big one. I'm kind of surprised. What I was saying is one thing that I've talked to with some people this week is to factor a little bit Weidman durability and KO loss. I think it's important because he's 6-6 to the KO. I don't think it's good, but then you put some context into it. He broke his leg against All. I mean, that's a KO loss on his resume. He got knocked out by prime Dominic Reyes when he was undefeated at the time, up a weight class. What you want me to say? He was a terror back then. He got knocked out by Souza. That was a weird punch that got top of his head. That was kind of weird. But he was kind of winning that fight to me. He got knocked out by Musashi, but you guys didn't watch back that fight, but the ref, he had kind of his hands down. He was getting kneed, and then the ref kind of say, "Oh, that was illegal." But then after that, they said, "Oh, it's legal," so the fight is stopped. That's the knockout loss. And then he got flying knee knockout by Yoel Romero. What you want me to tell you?
Yeah, and it dented his head. Remember that?
Yeah, if you want Yoel Romero to do a flying knee on your head, you might get knocked out. He got ground and pound KO by Luke Rocco in the championship rounds. That's where he lost his belt, I think. So yeah, that's his knockout losses. he got knocked out a
pretty
couple
good.
times. But if you, what were you about to say?
They're all pretty good losses, to be honest.
Yeah, and Bruno Silva is 20-0 to the KO. He didn't get knocked out by Alex Pereira, but I think this fight took a lot out of him. Like after that, like GM3 was about to knock him out. He just clubbed and subbed him because that's what he does. But the dude hurt him and dropped him bad, He knocked out Brad Tavares. I was surprised. Good win. And then I bet Brendan Allen money line, and I bet Brendan Allen sub. And dude, Brendan Allen almost knocked him out. Like he knocked him down, and he looked good. Silva got his moments in that fight. He did look all right, but still he got hurt again. And then I bet Shara Bullet. I think we all did, and he wrestled on that fight. Right? He did try to wrestle. So in this fight, my point is, I think Weidman has massive wrestling grappling upside because we have seen Silva struggle with that. We have seen him getting taken down by good wrestlers, and he's 0-7 to the subs. So I think Weidman can definitely get a sub and gets his back. He's a good grappler. I think his grappling is a bit underrated here. I think he has wrestling upside. Like I said, I think he has some KO upside, or he can hurt Silva on the feet. I'm worried about the age. He's 39, but I think Silva is 34 and he's a little bit washed himself. So, and he's minus 275. So, yeah, you got to be dog or pass for sure. And I think the sub prop, like you guys mentioned, is also a good bet if you bet Weidman. So, yeah, man, that's my breakdown. The All American. One last ride, maybe. Yeah, right.
If you like that KO prop and you like the sub, and you like the possible sub, it's weird. I'm looking at it right now. Weidman inside the distance decision equals no bet is plus 350 on Bet Online. So it gives you both the sub, the KO, and if it goes to a decision, I mean you push. You don't win your bet.
I think it's decent, but I'd rather take the money line because I think I favor him in a decision.
Oh, fair, very fair.
So yeah, minus 200, minus 210. I think it's a good bet and he's fighting in his hometown, like he mentioned, never lost there. So yeah, man, a hometown guy is gonna have all the momentum.
Let's go to our next one. We got, sorry to cut you off. We got Vicente Luque, 22-9-1. He's 32, 5'11 with a 76-inch reach. He is fighting Joaquin Buckley. He's 17-6. He's 29, 5'10 with a 76-inch reach. The action on these two guys, Luque is anywhere from minus 110 to minus 120. Joaquin Buckley is anywhere from minus 110 to plus 105, depending on where you look. I'm going to start off with this one. I was a very early, these two guys know, I was waiting for a good line on Luque. I'm like, let's go. I'm betting Luque. Give me Luque plus odds. Everyone on Twitter this week was rushing to the counter to get Buckley plus odds. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely, I think Buckley has the explosiveness upside. He has the age upside. He probably has the faster hands as well. But outside of that, what does he have? The strength of schedule goes to Luque. The submission upside goes to Luque. The grappling upside goes to Luque. The cardio upside goes to Luque. Durability I give to Luque as well. I mean, and the strength of schedule goes to Luque. I think I may have said that, but I'll go again just because it's twice as good as Buckley's is. So I just don't get this massive rush to the counter for Buckley. I guess people are thinking that Luque is taking a step back over time in his career. And, watching back that RDA fight, he didn't really go for takedowns. He got a lot of takedowns, and everyone talks about the grappling in that fight. But most of those takedowns came from RDA going for takedowns and reversing. So I'm not really too sure on what the rush is to bet Buckley here. Maybe he was the side at plus 150, plus 160, whatever they got him at. But at a pick'em price, I think all the money's pretty much been sucked out of this. I don't think there's really an edge. If anything, the edge is on Luque. Haven't got around to bet him yet. I'm obviously going to be there live. This is the co-main event. So if I'm looking at my slate and I see everything's looking good for me and we're up profit and I got a little bit of change to spare, I will put it in the Telegram, whether I take Luque money line straight up. But I think Luque's aside. I think Luque wins this fight. Drav, go next, and we'll pass to the key.
Yeah, I disagree with you. I think Buckley win the fight, but if you feel like you love Luque at this point, he's minus 110. So with all the things that you said, you should be betting him, because if you don't and he wins, you're gonna be mad that you didn't, you know.
Yeah.
Like when it's a pick 'em like that and you feel kind of good about his side, like there's no need to hesitate, in my opinion. But
I wonder if we'll get the plus odds though at some point. I wonder if we'll see that plus odds. I
ma-
also people think there's going to be a finish. I think this fight goes the distance. Also, I want to add that.
Oh, okay. So if you think it go the distance, you know Luque is 3-6 to the decision. Does that concern you?
Not as much, just because of the guys. Like, let's do a little quick breakdown. The guys he's 3-6 to the decision. You said, right? Who are his decision losses? Bilal Muhammad, right? Pretty good loss. Wonder Boy, pretty good loss. Leon Edwards, pretty good loss. Mike Graves, no idea who that is. Haider Hassan, no idea who that is either. Those are his five of his 6 decision losses. Those are some pretty good names to lose a decision to, I think.
Yeah, but it's not the point. The point is that he's not good at like winning minutes that much and win decision, you know? That's the point. Because
he's Buckley good at winning minutes though?
Yeah, he's better at winning minutes and moments than Luque. Like he's 5-2 to the decision, Buckley, and he's a good. I think he's a good moment winner, like he loves to say. He has good explosion, and he wins more than minutes. That's kind of my point here. Okay. I think that at this point in their career, I think Luque is kind of shot. If I'm being honest, I didn't love how he looked against RD at all. He was worried about getting punched. He even said that in interviews that he was scared about getting hit, which is crazy to hear him say that. He took a shit ton of damage against Neil. His brain was bleeding, everything. You know, that's crazy. And he became a wrestler against RDA, and he was not reacting well to to getting hit by RDA. Buckley is he's way more dangerous than RDA on the feet at this point in his career, and he looked career best in his last fight against Moreno. I think he looked improved in his cardio. He looks improved in everything. Like he looked good, and he has power, so he's gonna hit Luque hard in this fight. I think if anyone wrestle here, I think Buckley is live to get some rest, to get some takedowns. But Luque could potentially get some takedown, but I think Buckley takedown defense is pretty good. I think Luque is the much better grappler, but I don't see him getting a sub here personally. Like Peg said, I think it could go to the decision. I think I favor Buckley in the decision. I just feel like Luque gets hit way more, and I think he's going to struggle with Buckley movements. So that's the first thing. I think that Buckley is going to land the bigger shot, and I think Luque is live to knock him out with like a check hook or something, a chef left hook. That's what he loves to do. But yeah, I just feel like Buckley at plus money was like what was the side. I like him at welterweight. Like he was fighting in the wrong weight class before that, and he still won many fights. You know, I just feel like he's more athletic. I think he's entering his prime as well. I think Luque is on the downslide. I think that Buckley is on the entering his prime. Like I said, looked career best last time out against Moreno. I was surprised that he out cardio Moreno. He hurt him. Cardio look improved in his last couple fights. I think the power is still there at 170. He's in good shape, good place mentally. What else? What else could I say? Luque struggled with southpaw a lot. Like he lose to southpaw a lot in his career, and Buckley is going to be a southpaw here, and he's going to use a lot of movement, a lot of footwork in the big cage, and that's everything that Luque struggled with. Like in the rematch against Muhammad's a good striker. Yeah, he's good fight IQ, good movement, but he's not like that good of a striker. He's just good at using footwork and good fight IQ, you know. And he beat Luque in a more that was a striking fight for the most part. I know he mixed up some takedowns, but yeah, just Buckley being younger, more in his prime, dangerous, more athletic, faster, in the big cage. Yeah, man, I feel he's the side here. I did bet him straight up, but I got a much better number than the odds are right now. So yeah, man, I still think he's the side here. If you can get plus 105 or something, I think it's good to bet. But now it's like plus 100. It's still good. I think he's still the side. I think it should be around minus 125 here personally.
Key, break it down, and then we'll move on to our main event.
Yeah. I'll try to keep this a little bit quicker here. I have a pretty good history betting Buckley. I bet him versus Fialho. in that timeout. I had his over significant strikes in that cash versus Chris Curtis. And I don't rate Buckley very high though. I think that he's one of those guys. He throws a lot of bullshit. Honestly, I mean, you can look at his strike accuracy, 33%. He fights like he's doing pad work, and I don't say that in a good way. It's a lot of like routine combos, and he doesn't really fight with enough flow in my opinion. I do think that he is a side here. I will say that I'm not willing to take him here, but I do think that he is a side here. Luque has so many questions. Not only was that brain bleed stuff super scary, but him making comments like Dravhy mentioned about not wanting to get hit is sort of scared of it. That's really, really concerning whenever you're going against a guy that's so explosive like Buckley. Although I don't view Buckley as a very accurate striker or a very well-educated striker, I think that he's constantly looking for highlights a little too much. I do think that if he touches you, it's definitely going to have some pop to it. And like Dravy mentioned, Luque hasn't fought that well against southpaws in all of his fighting. So I think that Buckley's a side here. It's a side that this is a fight that I see it being close either way, and I don't see either guy just completely running away from it. And there is a potential that Luque could drop Buckley, as Buckley's been dropped a couple times, but Luque is a guy that I'm not sure if he's willing to be in the pocket the same way like he used to a few years back. So there's a fight that I'm willing to pass on to see if Luque is completely washed or if Buckley is just that guy and that's going to come into the right weight class now and it's going to be a top 15 guy. After this fight, I think that a Kevin Holland rematch would be pretty cool for Buckley if he could get that one back. And for what it's worth, I think that Kevin Holland snipes his ass again. But yeah, Buckley's dog or pass here. And yeah, this should be a good fight though.
All right, main event. Thank you. Main event of the evening. Erin Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. Erin Blanchfield, she's 12-1. She's 24-5-4 with a 68-inch reach. She is a New Jersey native. She is fighting Manon Fiorot. Manon Fiorot is 11-1. She's 34-5-7 with a 66-inch reach. She's going to have the clear physical advantages here. I think she's going to be the larger girl height-wise. Probably look a little bit bigger in the cage. We're going to have Blanchfield anywhere from -185 to -190. And you're going to have Manon Fiorot anywhere from +160 to +145. This is a girl fight. I'm going to let Key go first, and then I'll finish a set. And then I'll go, then Dravhy will finish.
Yeah. Women's MMA, you know who to call. I think that this is a Manon spot. I bet Manon in just about every fight possible. I bet her versus Chu. I think that was a 4-unit bet at -180. And I bet her last time out against Rose with that spread at +200. I think that she's a side here. I think that people are not understanding how big Manon is. For what it's worth, and I've never heard anybody talk about this, but I think Manon could go to 135 and cause damage if she loses here. I think that she could honestly go get the title at 130. I think she has a clearer path at 135 to get the title than 125. Manon's huge for the weight class. If you just look at her upper body, you look at her stomach, she may be on roids. But I think Manon is the side here. Standing, I think that she's going to look -300 or more. The side kick, the jab, the distance management, the footwork is unlike anything Blanchfield has seen. People act like Blanchfield just completely washed Andrade. That is not true. That is just not true at all. She got clipped and tagged multiple times. She was losing against Talia Santos, and I still think that if Talia Santos doesn't fucking trip herself into being mounted in the second round, I think that Talia probably ends up winning that fight too. Manon isn't Molly McCann, and that's no diss to my girl, but that's Manon is no Molly McCann. And so I think Manon's takedown defense is good. Blanchfield doesn't have good entries. She's not some great wrestler. She's a good grappler, but she is not some great wrestler. Manon shows urgency trying to get up. The one time she was taken down against Jennifer Maia, instantly popped right back up. Instantly was in the controlling position in the clinch. And in every other fight, she's never been taken down. I don't think that Blanchfield has anything for her on the feet. I think she's going to have a really, really hard time getting it down to the ground. Now the question ends up being, is it an instant sub if Blanchfield does get it down to the ground? And although we don't have a shit ton of evidence to show Manon's bottom game, I really don't think that a high-level fighter like her that comes out of a good camp is going to just look like a fish off of her back. I think that she's going to be able to create space. I think she's going to be able to post on the wall. I think she's going to be able to get up. And so I think there's a Manon spot. I played plus 130 because I was being impatient. I'm going to add to that probably either today or Friday, depending on where this line goes, at plus 160 or plus 170. There's a Manon spot. I think it's not much to overthink it here. Live, maybe you could look at Aaron. But I have a hard time thinking that Aaron's going to be able to keep pace for 5 rounds. I heard people calling her the female Marab and shit like that. That is just not true. And her striking defense coming in range is absolutely garbage. I think that she's just a dog. She is a tough girl. She's a dog. She's going to be in your face. But I think the footwork's just going to be absolutely too much. I think Manon's going to put on an absolutely striking masterclass here. So Manon to the moon. Manon 2025 champion and flyweight. And if they give her a bantamweight title, she will be double champ.
Great breakdown. I mean, you couldn't have said it better myself. One of my favorite points that you mentioned was the urgency of getting up. That's a lot of the things you don't see from any of these girls that have fought Blanchfield in the past. I also think Blanchfield's takedowns are not tremendous. And people keep saying online that as the fight goes on, it favors Blanchfield. I don't really think that doesn't make sense to me. I guess they're saying like more time to get more damage in or more time to sub her. I don't see it like that at all. I think Mannon's the clear side here. At plus 160, it's almost crazy that the line is like this. I wouldn't be surprised if this line is closer to plus 130 come fight day, because I think it only got so inflated because, everyone's parlaying Blanchfield. They want to bet Blanchfield. I also favored her with Santos. I would take that bet again. I think round 1, round 2 looked kind of good for Santos until she went for her own takedown. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. So, yeah, but other than that, great breakdown. I completely agree. Drav, you go and close it out, and then we'll do our stuff.
Yeah, did Key ever lie to you guys about a woman fight like that when he was confident? Like,
no. I almost got to
throw more. You know what I'm saying?
It's the new mic, bro. It's the new mic.
Yeah, man. First of all, I'm excited for this fight. Sometimes we see like heavyweight main event and woman main event that like nobody care about. This fight I'm actually looking forward to. Like, that's a banger. Both of them are undefeated in the UFC. They're like, I think 6-0 or 7-0 in the UFC. And to me, that was like my 2 girls. Like, I was super high on both of them. I only bet against Blanchfield once, and it was against Tyler Santos, and that was a very, very close fight. I bet her in, I think, every other fight. I passed against Andrade, I think, but I bet her in every other fight. I remember betting her at plus money against Maverick. That was crazy. And I've never bet against Manon. I think I bet on her every fight. Yeah, I think I did on every fight. So yeah, I'm very high on both of them, and the fact they're fighting now for like a number 1 contender spot, it's very exciting. The 5 rounds is kind of tricky because everybody, like Peg said, saying that it's going to favor Blanchfield. We don't really know, but I tend to agree with it though. Just because of her style, she looks like in the Santos fight, I think in the 5 rounds, she might finish her. Like, she was looking good, and she pushed a good pace. She has good cardio, and she's a dog, But it's a striker versus grappler matchup to me. Blanchfield, I think her wrestling is a bit overrated. I don't think her wrestling is the best of the world. Like, she was not able to take down Santos. She was not able to take down JJ Aldrich, I think her wrestling is pretty good, but I think it's overrated. I don't think it's that good, Her grappling, though, I think it's very high level, and I think she's dangerous when she gets on top. Is she going to get on top there is the question. I don't really know. I think Manon Fiorot has elite takedown defense. I think she has a very good get-up game. And if Blanchfield gets on top, maybe it's trouble. But is she going to get on top? We don't really know. On the feet, I think it's Fiorot all day. I think she's one of the best striker in women MMA. She's very good. I know she doesn't have finishes lately, but she does have power. Like you said, she's very big for the division. She's going to be much bigger. I think that I think the big cage going to favor Manon. I don't think people talk too much about that, but that's a good point because she has insane footwork. like the way she was using footwork against Rose, who has one of the best footwork in women's MMA. Rose was kind of lost on the feet at time because of Manon's footwork. Like that was the way she was using her movements. That was key. But here, that's even like more important because the way she stay off the cage and use her movement in the big cage can allow her to stay on the feet where she's the better fighter. Maybe Blanchfield take over late, but do you really want to lay minus 180 on a girl that's gonna potentially take over late and potentially look very good on top? Because there's not much tapes on Fiorot bottom game, but with what I've seen, her get up game is good, takedown defense is good, much better striker, bigger girl. And yeah, I guess the UFC potentially want Blanchfield to win. She's fighting in her hometown, but it doesn't always tell the story. I think Manon take this. I think it's gonna go the distance, potentially a decision, but she's live for a knockout, dude. Like everybody's talking about Blanchfield sub, but Manon's live for a knockout. So yeah, man, I feel like it's gonna be a banger. I'm excited for this fight, but Manon gotta be the side. If we talk about the odds, I think it should be close to a pick 'em. But now we get plus 150, plus 160 on Manon Fiorot. That's a big disrespect to our girl, in my opinion.
One other thing before we close out, to Drav's point, talking about her power, Rose was talking about in a recent interview, talking about Manon's pop and that she couldn't just walk into range like she did against Hebos because she felt as if Manon just really packed a punch. And I also think, like Drav said, Erin wasn't. I mean, she was getting her ass whooped. I mean, her versus Aldrich was one of my first MMA bets I ever put out. And I remember in that fight thinking, fuck, like she is not looking good here, because JJ was able to stop the takedowns, able to get takedowns of her own, was piecing her up. And so I think that we could see another type of fight like that. And if she doesn't grab up a quick sub, there is no way in hell that she's able to justify that price tag.
No, I agree. And then, guys, that's the show. I mean, I love these breakdowns. I love the confidence in this. I'm going to be there live in Atlantic City. I have another prize. You saw we gave out $50 last week. Here's what we got this week. If you can comment in the comment section below which girl wins the main event, whether it be, 1 second, my lighting sucks in here. Give me 2 seconds here. Let's see if that even helped. That may not even help. If you see, we have a man in Fiorot call. Where is this glare coming? Oh, it's coming from the fucking laptop screen. I'm shot. If you have the man in Fiorot screen, you can see right here. If you got to guess who wins the main event and how they do it. Doesn't have to be round, doesn't have to be anything like that. It just has to be sub, KO, or decision. Whoever picks the correct winner, I'll ship the card to them. Or if they don't want it, I'll throw it in the trash. I don't know, whatever you want me to do. But that's what the winner's going to get this week. You got to comment below. You got to like, comment, and you got to leave which girl is going to win and how are they going to win. Guys, take the decision. Female fighters by decision in a main event. That's my only tip to you guys. Let's do our BTL parlay.
I'll go last. You can go first, guys.
Okay. Key, you go first.
Let's see. I'll go Manon plus 160.
Oof, okay. I was gonna say you could get Emmers at plus 180 now for the parlay.
Who did you say? Key, I didn't understand.
Manon plus 160.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Ibo Aslan money line.
No. Fuck no.
Yep.
Then cut the parlay, bro.
It's all right. Ibo Aslan money line minus 125. You're last.
I have a couple options, but since you guys both pick underdog, I'm gonna lay a big chalk. I'm gonna go Loughran minus 350.
Okay, nice. I like that.
It's plus 495.
Okay, minus 350. I mean, actually, all right, just play with this quickly. What if I do the over on the Loopy Verna fight? What's that?
I don't like that.
That's got to be crazy chalk too.
It was minus 270 when I played it. You don't like it? You think someone gets a finish, Drav?
Yeah.
Really?
But I'm not too confident. But I think the finish, like Jandiroba has sub upside and Loopy has KO upside. You're betting over 2.5 minus 300. I think it's crazy. Like, is he gonna go to distance?
When is either one of these last girls been finished? Whenever either of these girls been finished,
it doesn't matter. I think stylistically, like both of them has finishing upside. So I don't like the over 2.5 at minus 300. That's crazy to me.
All right, Leave Ibo then. Leave Ibo Aslan then. You sealed our fate. So Manon Fiorot plus 160, Aslan minus 125, Colin Loughran minus 350, and you said the total is what? Plus 4 what?
95.
495. I like that. All right. Cool. All right, guys, that's the show. Let's finish just under 2 hours here. Thanks for joining us again. Like, comment, subscribe. As you know, as always, my Telegram's free. I give picks out there first, add them everywhere else later. We're doing pretty well this year. We're up almost 30 units in Q1. We'll hopefully finish this card strong and start next week pretty good. Drav, you go next.
Yeah, guys, you know the deal. You can sub to my Dob Club. We're up, I think, 60 unit this year so far. It's crazy. We're only at the end of March. Yeah, man. So let's cash out together. You can subscribe to my Dob Club where we get crazy line like Gatto plus 130. Yeah, man, we're gonna cash out together. The Dob Club is in my bio and on Twitter. You can subscribe to you can follow my Twitter, Dravhy_. I post free bet every week. And of course, you can subscribe to the channel when we break down the fights every single week, and we give breakdowns and we give some bets on the show. So show some support, like the video, comments below, and it's very appreciated.
All right, Key, go ahead.
Key3Picks, y'all know the deal. Dub Club, free trial in my bio. We have Discord. I drop prize picks, underdog fantasy, better slips, book bets, DFS cores. We do it all. We collab with a bunch of different creators. We're up close to 40 units to start this year. So let's keep it rolling. Hit that link and make sure you hop in and get some of these crazy prices with us.
All right, guys, that's the show. We'll see you guys next week. We're back live, normal time. Thanks again for joining us. What the hell was that?